First things first, let's jack this thing up. Your wheel is off the ground. Nice. Now you're going to want to take the wheel off. You're going to want to pry the caliper away from the rotor so it compresses the caliper. There's a little slap back here. Stick the screwdriver in there, flathead, and kind of get it so it compresses in a little bit. See? Already done. Perfect. Then we're going to take a 14mm bolt on the bottom here. We're going to take that off, and then this is going to take the bolt out, and then this whole caliper will kind of slide up like this and slide it right out. Don't worry about taking this top bolt off. See? Bottom bolt's gone, top bolt's there. We're just going to slide it out. It just slides right out. Set that someplace where it won't fall. And then you'll take off your brake pads. I'm saving mine, so I'm being extra gentle. These are literally brand new. Just have a bad wheel bearing and no emergency brakes. So take the caliper brackets off. You gotta go through the hole here. And I believe it is at 14. These caliper brackets are 14. There's one up top. And then there's one down here. You can see there's a little hole right here. You're gonna have to come through the hole to get it back here. Check that out, you got that thing off, congrats. Now you gotta take the rotor off. Mine's just gonna come off because, you know, I just put these brakes on like not long ago. But you might have to give your brakes some love. So, you know, gently love this rotor up with a hammer if it won't come off. And it should just pull right off. Wow, look at all that. What emergency brakes? To reinstall your brakes, first we want to clean off your rotors. Brake cleaner. So make sure to spray off the inside here. Drilling down really nice and good. And then wipe it off and clean it. New rotors have protective grease. You don't want that with your pads. Old rotors like mine, I didn't use the emergency brake before, so I got to clean that crap off inside. The next thing that we are going to want to do here is to clean up our bracket. I don't mean clean up the bracket itself, I mean clean up the sliders. If they were seized, make sure to replace them or clean it up really good. Then we want to clean these out really good each. I just use brake cleaner and kind of swish around, get all the stuff out. Then we want to lube them up really good with a lot of grease. And then we're going to put our sliders back in. Remember how we only took one out? I took both out as soon as it was out just to make sure everything was good. Next, once we have our slider things that the pads go onto, we're going to lube up the contact points. So in here, we're going to gently lube up. You're going to want to make sure there's not excess lube on the pad sliders. You don't want the lube on your brake pads, the actual braking part at all. Next, we are going to put the caliper bracket back on the car, like this. Just like that. And then we're going to bolt the bolts up. Mine have different thread pitches in each one. Not sure if everyone's like that, but you're going to want to make sure you don't screw up your threads. Next we're going to put our pads on. They're pretty noticeable which way they're supposed to go, but the curved areas are supposed to go towards the outside. Again, we want to make sure there's lube where they're going to slide, but not enough lube where it's going to touch the rotor. Okay, I like to lube up the back of the brake pads a little bit on both sides where the caliper is going to sit. So we have transitioned from daylight to this neat flower lamp, aka the shop light, and an industrial grade bug zapper. Yeah, listen to that sucker go. Alright, back to the show. So we have our pads on here, the backs are lubed up. Next we're going to lube up our slider again on this guy, and we're going to put the boot bag on it. Hopefully the caliper is already compressed in from when I did that thing in the beginning with a screwdriver, and if not, I'm going to have to compress it again, but hopefully not. Okay, so my caliper went on without a problem. Then you're going to want to screw the bolts in back here. We didn't undo the top one, remember? So we have this bottom one. For this car, a 2006 Outback with a solid rotor, it says it needs to go to 19 foot-pounds. You do not want to over-torque it. So put that on there. And then your rear brake job is done. What you want to do next is put your tire on and bolt these guys up. Make sure you do the star pattern. So do this one, then that one, then this one, then that one, then this one. Then put it on the ground and then tighten up the rest of the way.